Going live in 3, 2, 1. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Delete your DNA now, and that's no joke. So there's a lot of stuff happening with, of course, the company 23andMe, and there's a lot of folks saying that you need to basically go within your rights and say, destroy my data now. And there's a lot of reasons behind this. We're going to show you the independent reasons why as well. People that have recently got some top secret video on that, and they're saying, hey, you know, this stuff is going to go wherever, and you don't want it going where it might go. But first of all, the information, we've talked about the DNA stuff for years, including the fact that that now, you know, they're talking about bankruptcy. All of this stuff is going down. Because also it related to even this platform. The sister of the then CEO was actually the CEO of this platform. She has now passed. And then the CEO of their platform, the sister, of course, was running this thing. A lot of people thought it was weird for years that, you know, one sister was running this place and one sister was running that. I don't know if there was ever any connection, but I will say this company and the DNA stuff that they've taken, people really can't wrap their head around why it is important and what it could be used for in the future. And I'm talking about some really, really scary stuff that we have covered, like, you know, say something that could be released and specifically pull out traits in your DNA and be used against you, even to control your brain. I mean, there's some pretty wild stuff out there, and it all sounds absolutely crazy, but now scientifically they say it's no longer theoretical. This stuff could be used to absolutely go not only after, you know, stuff like brain control, but also for a bioweapon. So yeah, it's not a friendly thing to have out there. It says if you're one of the 15 million people who shared your DNA with 23andMe, it's time to delete your data. The genetic information company, best known for its saliva test kits, announced Sunday that it's headed for bankruptcy to sell its assets. And 23andMe's financial distress prompted California Attorney General Rob Bonta to issue an unusual privacy consumer alert. It says, quote, I remind Californians to consider invoking their rights and directing 23andMe to delete their data and destroy any samples of genetic material held by the companies. It said the company said that there will be no changes to the way it protects consumer data while the bankruptcy court is in session. But unless you take action, there is a risk that your genetic information could end up in someone else's hands and used in ways you had never considered. I have instructions on how to do it, right? And that is actually in this this down below. So when they say that they have never considered, that is no joke. Something that people have never considered. And I guarantee you talk to 50 people, they're not going to tell you that they know about any of the stuff I just talked about. But we're going to go into the video that was received on the back end, which probably led up to all of this here in just 1 second. But I do want to remind you guys, make sure to go over and check out marfooglenews.com/EMP if you haven't already. It's a really, really great website. You can actually get yourself protected against not only EMP, and make sure to also go check out marfooglenews.com/prep. Get yourself some food while you're at it. All right, let's get into this O'Keefe Media Group. Of course, you guys know O'Keefe was ousted from Veritas. It has a video here. And Dex, do you want to go over? Let's bring in my co-host / internet brother, Dex James. What is going on? How are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine. And you know, deleting your data may prevent you from not letting the next guy get your data, but it certainly seems like your data has probably been given out already, and that's what many have been suggesting over the years. I know we've talked about it here before, is what potential they have to sell that data, and if they that meaning your DNA. And what's going on here with this video? The OK Media Group did one of their undercover videos and was talking with a policy advisor from the U.S. Department of Treasury who said that basically they have, they being 23andMe, has been sharing data with pharmaceutical companies, including the Ministry of Defense of Russia. These are the claims being made by this. He says they have clauses in their contract that we can give your information to our shareholders, and their shareholders are basically those types of companies that I just said. So it's already out there. If you've done it, it's gone. But you might want to, if there's any chance and heck of thinking they might actually remove your data if you did it, if you ask them to, at least maybe the next guy won't get it.
Yeah, and I mean the scary stuff that I would be more concerned about China, but Russia could also just give that information straight up to China, right? Again, if somebody popped up asked what that link was, marfooglenews.com/EMP. Make sure to use the code MARF. All right, and then Pam Bondi warns Representative Jasmine Crockett to tread carefully over call for Elon Musk to be taken down. Now, I actually just talked to a friend and the mom of one of our daughter's friends, and I was kind of frazzled by talking to her because if you remember a couple weeks ago, there was a lot of people thinking that the Social Security would get cut, that there was going to be this cut with disability checks and welfare and food stamps and all of these different things, that they were all going to get cut. But it was media purposely, re-communicating information that was really, really bad. It was essentially that they said that they were freezing funds for this thing, but it wasn't going to affect any of that kind of stuff. And then the person who the White House publication, press speaker, had to basically go on this kind of circle of media and say, no, you guys are not listening. We've already clarified this. Now you guys are lying, basically just straight up lying about this. Well, my friend weeks later still has not heard about that or heard the corrections to that, and said, well, I've talked to one of my friends and they said that they didn't get their check. And my other friend said that they didn't get their check. And this is all regarding around Elon, right? Around Doge. She's saying, well, yeah, he's just really bad. And this is a person who has actually been on the right-leaning spectrum the majority of the time. And she's essentially just one thing after another. Well, Elon's bad, this, and this, and that. And everything she was saying why he was bad was completely false. Like everything it was there was already debunked. And I'm like, did you not see that was corrected, that was fixed, and none of that happened? I said, well, no, I actually talked to my friend and she didn't get her check and this and that. I said, have you verified with her that she didn't get it, or did she think she was maybe not going to get it? And no, of course not. And it's like there's a lot of people that are just like up in arms. They hate Elon, they hate this and that, but they're not actually, following this stuff. She had no idea that happened. She had no idea any of this stuff. And there was other things that she brought into play. I'm like, that's not true. Like that stuff was like debunked day one. But Facebook, and I said, where are you getting your news? And well, she's like, well, I just listened to Cairo and Como and things like that. And I'm like, do you know who owns Cairo and Como? And do you know who owns AM 1000? Do you know who, where are you getting your information? A lot of stuff from Facebook, which, again, most people do get their information from their favorite social media platform. I said, are you on X at all? Are you on anything else? And she goes, I will never go on X because Elon owns it. And it's like, X, the thing I will say is I've seen more anti-Elon stuff on X and anti-Trump stuff on X in the last 2 months than I've seen anywhere else. So one thing I will say is that, and they were like, well, they can show you what they want to show you. I'm like, well, the actual algorithm is transparent, or at least the fire hose that shows you how this thing works is transparent. It actually is public. So one thing I do think that is happening right here is that he is enemy number one. And now they've been doing some scary stuff. They've been threatening his life nonstop, but they've been doing really scary stuff to the dealerships. Dex, do you want to talk about, why she's saying tread carefully and why this is popping up?
Yeah, sure. As we've talked last week about all of the events that have been unfolding at all the different Tesla locations, because everybody's just targeting Tesla to basically harm Elon. Pam Bondi came out and warned Representative Jasmine Crockett to tread very carefully with the words she was using. So she's an elected public official, so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon. We're going to fight to protect all the Tesla owners throughout the country, Bondi said. But she was getting to the point about Crockett's remarks, which have been to basically have a global day of action and to have a Tesla takedown movement. And the term, I guess, that takedown is, she goes, all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down, she said, quote. So that it's borderline, it's getting on the edge, but with all the rhetoric going on, with all the violence that's happening, I think that's the concern.
And of course, there were explosions. And I want to just clarify, like, you guys know my opinion on Neuralink and on AI and on SpaceX and Mars and all this stuff. Like, as far as like the Neuralink stuff, I think it's absolutely terrifying. I think that the bots that Elon's making are going to replace us. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't like that Elon's doing. But if you're going to dislike Elon, do it on based on good information. Like, my problem is with the information, the bad information about somebody, even if they are, straight up a bad person. If somebody's going to say they don't like him because of a reason, that reason better be correct. Like, one thing I get more mad about is not the Elon subject in itself, is the information regarding Elon that is fake. The fake media, the media that goes out that is purposely skewed by a very, very biased news network. Same thing with the right-leaning networks as well. Like, when they do that kind of stuff. I have had that kind of, this super, super nasty stuff said about myself as well. And it does not feel good to have stuff that is just blatantly twisted out of context and put out against you. So that's the kind of stuff that I think a lot of people, creators especially, are like, what the hell? No, that's not right. Or it's just that people do not ever look for the update. They don't get the update. They hear one thing at the water cooler and then they never actually check it. They never verify. Trust but verify, right? Well, nobody does. Well, this same time that they're saying, hopefully gets taken down or whatever, there was actual explosives found at the Tesla dealership after anonymous call as SWAT swarms showroom, and FBI issues new threat over 48 attacks. You know what I think is going on here, and this might be unpopular, but it seems like the same messaging that we had about the Prez right before his event when he was at his speech. I think that the same sort of messaging is now applying to Elon. And Elon might have his own event here soon. So I'm pretty sure that they know about all of this, and they've probably got their security on high alert. Or there's an event set up to make it look like something is going to happen. I don't know. Dex, do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're now telling all the public what's, now they're going to say, oh, well, they just mobilized the public, and now the public are trying to go after him and things like this.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it could be a giant honeypot in one hand to capture and create an opportunity to extract a lot of the folks that are going to do the bad things when they rally against one political side or another. Just like we saw on the opposite side with the honeypot sort of being the Capitol during that day. So maybe it's partially that. Maybe that's because we've seen some major arrests. We've seen the current president say, well, we could even send them to El Salvador or wherever it was. The South American prison that's really bad, right? And they're talking about making sure they get 20 years minimum for the type of actions that they're taking at these dealerships. So there's lots of different angles on this, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, look, it's a business. It's a business that's running. There's a lot of employees. They get paid. They make cars. They sell cars. The business itself isn't necessarily doing harm. You may not like the guy who owns it. I mean, a lot of people didn't like, Mr. Gilly Bates there, but all you people are running Windows and, still do it. So.
Yep. I mean, how many? Well, also because you can't really switch to Apple if you don't have $4,000. But either way, that's just my personal opinion.
$499.
Yeah, whatever. Well, you can get the smaller M too. I get what you're saying. But if you want what everybody else wants, it's like $4,000. All right. Well, anyways, you guys, we're about to go over the rest of the news, and there's some pretty big stuff there as well. Follow us over on our next show over on Marfoogle TV. where actual war plans were leaked, or that's what is being said. And it seems very, very weird. As far as the leak itself, how it happened, everything about it is just really, really odd. And some might even question some weirdness around the VP or the National Security Advisor. Something weird is going on here. But yeah, we'll talk about the war plans that were leaked and much, much more on the next show. So follow us over there. It's on our sister channel. You can get there either by staying in the chat and you'll be ported over, or by following the link down in the website. Or, of course, if you want, you can just click here if you're watching the replay. We'll see you in a second. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.